Hi everyone. In this video, I'd like to discuss with you something called a NOID, or a Notice of Intent to Deny. And if you are going through the immigration process, it's really important to know what a NOID is, how to avoid it, and what to do if you receive one. And so that's what I'll be discussing in this video today. Before I dive into that topic, I'd like to quickly introduce myself and our firm. I'm attorney Megan Pastrana from Corrado Pastrana, the immigration firm for couples. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so now. We regularly post updates on our channel so you can have up-to-date information about what's going on in the world of immigration, and then also important information that you'll need along your immigration journey. We also have a Facebook group. The link is below. It's called Immigration for Couples, and you'll be able to obtain additional support in that Facebook group. Last but not least, if you'd please give this video a thumbs up, we'd really appreciate it. This will allow YouTube to share it with other individuals who can benefit from this information. All right, so let's talk about Notice of Intent to Deny, or NOIDs, as they're commonly referred to. And so NOIDs, or Notices of Intent to Deny, just as they sound, is when immigration, an officer determines that they don't have enough information to give an approval on your case, but they also don't have enough to necessarily deny it, and that they're needing more information. So a notice of intent to deny is something that is definitely serious, and you can think of it as more serious than a request for evidence. And we have a separate video on our YouTube channel about requests for evidence, or an RFE. So the notice of intent to deny, the NOID, is more serious than an RFE, because the immigration officer is basically saying that he or she has looked at your application and the documentation, and that there isn't enough information or evidence there to approve it, but also, again, not enough to deny it. So a notice of intent to deny, and again, since we represent couples in the immigration process, I'll speak specifically to an example as it relates to couples. And so a common NOID that would happen in a couples-based immigration case, would be, for example, an adjustment of status. That is a process that happens here in the United States where the couple has to go to an immigration office, and they are interviewed by an immigration officer who asks them questions about their relationship and reviews the file to decide whether or not they believe that immigration officer and that immigration believes that the couple has a bona fide intent to have a marriage and a future together. That basically that it's a relationship based on love and not receiving an immigration benefit. So what can happen is that at that interview, the officer could decide, after reviewing the application and after speaking with the couple, that there is contradictions or there's not enough evidence of the relationship, and that officer can decide that they're intending to deny the application, but they're going to give that couple one last opportunity to show that their relationship is real. And so what would happen is immigration would send a letter to the immigrant, to that couple, to let them know, we are sending you a notice of intent to deny. We plan on denying your application, but we're giving you an opportunity to show us that you have a real relationship based on love. With NOIDs, we know that that's extremely scary. The immigration process is long and stressful, and to receive a notice like that can take your breath away. It is scary. And so the first thing to do, take a deep breath. Just know that it's a notice of intent to deny. It's something to take serious, but it's not a final decision. You still have a chance to win your case. You still have a chance to successfully make it through the process, but definitely something to take serious. And so that notice of intent to deny will give you a deadline. They give you 30 days, which we know that's even more stress if you're receiving a notice like that. That short deadline is always tricky. But they'll give you 30 days to submit additional evidence to clarify any contradictions in the application, and just to prove this last time, your last opportunity, that you have a real relationship. And so because this is such a serious notice to receive from immigration, and because the officers are wanting you to prove something, it's always a good idea to have an attorney assist you with this process. So of course you're thinking, of course I'm going to say that I'm an immigration attorney, but I am an immigration attorney, and I definitely want to make sure that you get the help that you need. And that's why I'm saying that, because we've seen all too often where couples don't get the help that they need with that process. And that's a huge risk to take, a huge gamble. It's your future to not get assistance with that process. An immigration attorney can help you to determine what things in your application, what evidence was strong, what areas are weak, and form a strategy for how to respond to that and help you have your best shot at showing immigration that you do have a real relationship and that your application should be approved. So the number one takeaway is know that it's something to take serious, but you still have a chance to save your case. And it's really important to get assistance in making sure that you're properly responding to that. If you submit your notice of intent to deny, what can happen next? Not if, you need to respond to your notice of intent to deny in a timely manner. But what can happen next is that immigration will respond. They can sometimes respond quickly within a matter of a few weeks or a few months, or it might take them a long time to make their final decision. And so there's no set timeline for you to get a response, but know that what will happen next is immigration is going to make their final decision. They're either going to say, okay, great, thank you for submitting this additional evidence. We have determined that you have submitted enough evidence and that you do have a real relationship, so we can approve your application. That would be, of course, the ideal scenario. The other thing that can happen is that immigration will decide, no, there's just not enough evidence and we are denying your application. We really hope that that doesn't happen, but we want you to know if it does, again, take a deep breath, don't panic. You should get assistance right away. There are ways that you can still appeal that decision. There are still opportunities to prove your case. It becomes more difficult if that NOID, if you actually get a denial on your case, but know that there are steps that can be taken next. Cases that have been denied by immigration, there is a policy that says individuals who receive denials in immigration, in their immigration case, that they can be sent to immigration court. So if you receive a final denial, we hope that that doesn't happen, but if you do, know that you need to seek legal assistance immediately to determine the options for appealing your case, possibly refiling your case, and also to be prepared for any kind of ramifications that might happen in terms of maybe being sent to immigration court. So I know that that was a lot of information, and I know that that was extremely heavy to have to go through all of that. And if you're going through that process, if you've received a NOID, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you navigate that. And for couples who are just starting out on their immigration journey, we provide all of this information not to scare you, but to make you aware of the importance of proving your relationship in your first application with immigration, making sure you're submitting enough evidence and giving yourself the strongest case possible to avoid a NOID. All right, so we hope that you found that video to be helpful and that gave you clarity about exactly what a NOID is and what to do. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.